Hi YouTube, it's me Leo back again with another video. Today we're going to be having a look at what my top picks of first cars would be. So if you've just stumbled across my channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. We're on the road to 300 subs, and be sure to leave this video a like. So we're going to be having a look at what my picks for the cheap, reliable, cheap to insure cars would be if you were in the UK looking for your first car. I'm also going to show examples of these cars for sale. In the background I'm just going to be doing some driving in my first car, which is a Mitsubishi Colt. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy. Hi, so the driving footage in the background of this video is just me driving from Bodmin to St Austell and then through St Austell, which are two towns in Cornwall. The roads were very busy. I chose to drive during rush hour, so it wasn't very exciting. But yeah, that'll be in the background. So we're going to have a chat through what I think are possibly the best first cars, and I'm also going to come up with examples that are for sale. I think I'm going to use Auto Trader to try and find these cars. So I'm kind of aiming for cars that are possibly between like £1,000 and £3,000, quite cheap cars, cheap to insure, cheap to run, and quite reliable. So this is just my opinion. I'd like to hear what your opinion is in the comments, so be sure to drop a comment. So let's just jump into it. So the first car that I would put on this list as probably one of my favourite and possibly one of the most reliable first cars is the Toyota Aygo. So this is a very small car that you've probably already seen it. Flash some images up. On Auto Trader you can probably find a good Aygo for possibly about £2,000–3,000, and we're talking maybe like a 2011, 2012, maybe even 2014 model with less than about 80,000 miles. So we're going to have a look through the specs. So the specs of this car, this is actually quite a small engine. You can get this different engines, but the main one that comes with this car is a 1 litre or 998cc 3-cylinder engine that puts out 68 horsepower. So this isn't a very powerful engine. It's enough to go around towns, but you're probably struggling when you're going on motorways or having to go up like a hill. This car comes with a manual 5-speed gearbox, this Aygo. This car should be pretty cheap to insure, as most of the 1 litre variants of this car are either an insurance group 3 or an insurance group 2. We're just going to go over some common problems that I found to look out for if you're buying a used version of this car. So the first one is actually apparently the exhaust systems are known to rust, but this is the same with all cars. I've had problems with the exhaust system on my car, and they're not too much of a hassle to change. Clutch, same with a lot of cars, clutch can wear out. I'm just having a look for the through problems with this car. There doesn't seem to be a lot, and it is a Toyota, so it's probably made pretty well. So just having a quick look on Auto Trader, it seems to be that a 2011-2012 model with around about 70,000 miles, which is absolutely fine. I still believe that's got a lot of miles left in it. Goes for about £3,000. So we've got one there for 3,000. Oh, there was a Cat N for just under 3,000. Oh, this one's 3,000 on the dot, pretty much. Yeah, so it says 2011 3-door. This has got the 1 litre petrol engine, and yeah, solid car. I'd probably put this as, yeah, oh, this even comes with a sat nav. So yeah, just the boot size, look how small that boot size is. I think that even makes my car's boot look small, and it is a very basic car. It's got everything you need since Toyota as well. So yeah, that would be up there in my recommended first cars. So the second car on our list is the Suzuki Alto, which is another very small car. This is actually, I would say, slightly more affordable, closer to about £2,000 as opposed to £3,000 with the Aygo. Looks wise, a bit more controversial. To me, it doesn't look quite as cool, but from what I've heard, it's a very reliable car, and it has a very similar engine. So this also puts out about 68 horsepower, and it is a 1 litre engine. It also has a 5-speed manual. It's a Japanese car, so and Suzuki's are known for being quite reliable as well. So yeah, can't see any problems with this car. So this is slightly higher insurance group than the Aygo. This is an insurance group 4, but I can't imagine it make too much difference, and you probably get the car for a little bit cheaper. Now, I'm just having a look at some common problems that can occur with this car. So online it's saying that you can get wheel vibration, the aircon not working, so I think some models of this car have aircon, so I'd probably check that when you're going to check out the car. Wheel bearing failure, so I guess when you're test driving you're just hearing for a whine that's coming from one of the wheels. I can't imagine they're too difficult to replace. The Suzuki Alto, very nice little car. Right, so I've gone on Auto Trader and just had a look for some Suzuki Altos, and looking around, there's one here for 2000, which is a 2012 with 77,000 miles. That's probably looks like it's probably got a lot of life left in it, but as you can see, it's a very basic car, no alloys, but this tends to be about £1,000 cheaper than the Aygo, so this is a very good alternative if you're okay with the looks of the car. So I don't think it looks bad, but I think the Aygo is a bit more of an iconic car than this. But yeah, just a very nice small car. It looks very basic inside. It's literally just got the speedometer. It looks like it goes up to 110, that speedometer. So it's not going to be a very quick car. And this variant doesn't look like it's got aircon. Yeah, I can't see aircon, just a basic radio and a 5-speed manual. But yeah, I can't see anything wrong with the interior of this car. Yeah, and it looks like you can fit 5 people in the back as well. Can't create a list of first cars without mentioning the car that I'm actually driving at the moment, which is the Mitsubishi Colt, which is my first car. So yeah, I picked up this car for £2,000 2 years ago. Specs wise, I've made a full review on my channel if you want to watch that, but that's got 74 horsepower, so it's actually slightly more powerful than the last 2 cars that we've mentioned, but it's nothing super quick. And I'm talking about the 1.1 variant. There's also a 1.3 litre petrol that I'd also recommend if you can pick it up. That has alloys usually and aircon, so if you can find that, I'd probably go with that. Mitsubishi Colt, it's been very good, so you can get a 5-door or a 3-door variant. It's been very reliable. The only issues I've had is to do with the exhaust pipe, so keep an eye out for that, I guess, rattling when you're test driving it. But yeah, it's been a very nice car. The thing about this car and the other 2 cars is it's actually slightly rarer. There doesn't seem to be that many of them in the country for sale, and they did discontinue this model of car in 2012. One thing to note about this car is the insurance group is quite a bit higher than the other 2 cars. It's a 10, insurance group 10, and I'm not too sure why that is. It is a small car, small engine, and it's got everything, safety features like airbags. Or I'm not sure why the insurance group's a 10. From my experience, the insurance wasn't too high actually in this car. So I would, before you dismiss it for having a slightly higher insurance group, I'd probably try and get a quote from your insurers to see if it is actually any more expensive than like one of the other cars that are slightly lower. Actually having a look on Auto Trader to see what you can actually get. So my car is a late 2012 model. When I bought it, it only had 42,000 miles on it, so it was very new, and I think it was used as a Motability car beforehand. So it wasn't thrashed before. Well, I'm presuming anyway. It was driven quite sensibly, which is always good. So I'm having a look on Auto Trader, and actually there's only 8 in our price range. I'm looking at cars below 3,000. Or maybe I need to go even lower. Let's have a look. Yeah, so we're having a look, and there's a couple for 3,000. A 2012 CZ2, 65,000 miles, absolutely fine. This has got a lot of life in it. So this, to me, I don't know if I'm biased because I actually own this car, but this is a significantly nicer looking car than the other 2. This is a very, I think to me this is a nice looking car. So as you can see, it looks quite aggressive from the front. For a small car, I would probably go with this. It's got alloys as well, 'cause it's a CZ2, and with the CZ2, as you can see the back, it's quite nice. It's got a small boot, but I mean it's not as small as the Suzuki Altos. Interior is very basic, but it's alright. I mean, it's got everything you need. It's actually got an aux cable built in. The CZ2 actually, I think it might even have cruise control. Well, it definitely has steering wheel buttons, which, well, my variant of the car doesn't have that. Oh, it's got a leather steering wheel as well. You can see the stitching, so I would probably have a look at this car. 5 gear manual. So I believe this does actually have aircon. But yeah, this is a very nice car. Leather steering wheel buttons. The 1.1 litre CZ1 has 74 horsepower. This 1.3 I think has close to about 90 horsepower, so this is significantly quicker than the other cars if you were to pick up the CZ1. So to me, this is perfect first car. 1.3 litre and about 90 horsepower, which is, for a car this size, actually quite quick. 3-door, looks very nice. Under £3,000. And it's got aircon and possibly cruise control. So yeah, and look how nice that car looks. It just looks like a little Evo. So yeah, that would definitely be my choice. This does look nicer than the car I'm in at the moment, because mine doesn't have any alloys, and it's like the very basic spec. But yeah, Mitsubishi Colt, I'd recommend it, but the prices have gone up. So if you can find one closer to about $2,000 like this one's, yeah, I don't really know. So yeah, I don't know why the prices have gone up so much, but it is a nice car. There's less on the road. I would definitely recommend it as a first car. So the next car I'd actually put on this list is the Kia Picanto, and before it was facelifted, I believe in 2011 it was facelifted. Before 2011 it does look possibly the ugliest car on this list so far, but if you maybe look for a 2012, 2013 model, when they facelifted, it actually still looks like a very modern car, because I don't think the new, like maybe 2023 model of this car actually looks too different to this. So the specs of this, or the 2012 and later version of the Kia Picanto. So this is a 5-door car. So this car has a 69 horsepower. It's got a 1-litre engine, 3-cylinder, and I think similar to the other cars, I think all other cars on this list, it also has a timing chain. Regular oil changes, the timing chain tends to be less of an issue. It's got a 5-speed manual gearbox, which is the same as all of the other cars. Insurance group wise, what I've had a look, they're about certain variants are a group 4, certain variants are at group 5, which is cool. It's still pretty low. So they've put erratic idling, and then problems with the steering mechanism. Right, we are going to have a look on Auto Trader to see what sort of Kia Picantos we can find for our budget. So as you can see straight away, there's £2,000 for a 2011 with about 78,000 miles. This is the old version, so if you're not too fussed about looks, I can't see any issue with the old. £1,000 more, but it's the 2013 model with decent mileage. As you can see, it does look significantly more modern, especially the back end. Yeah, but it doesn't have alloys. Oh, it's got 2 exhaust pipes with chrome tips. I mean, that's pretty sporty. Let's have a look at the interior. I think the interior of this car probably looks the nicest out of all of them. Yeah, it does look the most substantial interior. Yeah, as you can see, it's just a small car. I mean, I'd probably say it's a very nice looking car for the size, and I'd probably try and look for a facelifted version just on looks, basically. There's a few facelifted. This one's 2,800. So yeah, that's a Kia Picanto. Yeah, so I'm just going to not go so much into detail with these next few cars, but just list a few cars that I would also recommend if you can find them in that price limit. Hyundai i10 or even i20 if you can find one for a bit cheaper. I would recommend them. I think they're very similar. I think there's a parent company of Kia, so the build quality is probably very similar, and I've not heard any bad things about these. I'd also maybe even recommend, so there's a slightly larger car if you're looking for a bit of a larger hatchback, the Dacia Sandero. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. If you can find one of them for about £3,000, about 10 years old, maybe under 80,000 miles. I've seen them around on Auto Trader, so that's also a very good car to go with. And then there's also some offerings from Nissan. So there's the Nissan Note and there's also the Nissan Micra. Those will probably go quite cheap as a first car. And then there's the standard things like the Polo, the Fiesta, and yeah, they're all very good first cars. So this video is kind of going over what personally I'd go for if I was looking for my first car, and I had a very tight budget. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see everyone in my next video.